So in high school in 1997, 98, my obsession was the musical Rent. The first time I saw Rent was in New York City, and I went to New York City with my Girl Scout troop. I was the Girl Scout till senior year of high school, everybody. And I remember just thinking it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I was obsessed on a level that is uncomfortable and weird and kind of dorky. And so I got all my girlfriends and we went and saw it, I think, between 5 and 10 times. And the cast would come through and I thought the cast was like, I thought the guys were so cute. And now looking back, I think they were all vaguely gay. Or there was one particular time we saw the show where an understudy went on for the role of Mark. I'm sure we all remember. And as a viewer, I thought to myself, if I'm gonna have one of them be my boyfriend, I think I could only get Mark. Like, I don't think I could get Roger, the kind of like hotter guy. And I definitely couldn't get the main touring company guy of Mark, but I could maybe get his understudy. So I decided that I was gonna pretend that I wrote for a paper and I wanted to do an interview with the understudy of Mark in the National Touring Company of Rent. I write him a letter which I give to the stage manager at the stage door, which I thought was very, very cool. I went to the stage door with this sloppily written hand note that was like, could I interview you for my town's paper? I'm a journalist. So he calls me, and I had, at that time, my parents were really cool, and they let us have an upstairs line and a downstairs line. So he called on the upstairs line. I was like, hello. And he said, okay, you can do an interview. You want to come down and get dinner after the show? Now, this blew my mind to a level that I cannot even express. So I went over to my girlfriend's house. I had them dress me up in what would look like a reporter outfit with like black pants, a smart heel, a collared top. And then I had, I'm not joking, I brought but didn't wear a fedora, just in case. Not a joke, I had a sign that said press that I wrote on an index card. So I took my car, which was a dark blue Cutlass Sierra, and the top would hang down low, so I also had a staple gun in the passenger seat so I could just staple it up whenever I needed. And I drove myself to Washington, D.C. Now this was a Friday night, which happened to be the day before the SATs, which I was supposed to take on Saturday. So I didn't tell my parents where I was going. This is so sad that like my big wild night out is to go and interview an understudy of the tour of Rent. It's like, okay. But I was like, this is so bad what I'm doing. I'm like waiting for him. I'm in a full sweat. I'm so nervous, I'm shaking. He comes out, he's like a very nice, normal guy, we'll call him Dan. First I do a strange photo shoot with him in front of the restaurant where I'm just taking his picture, and I have a camera that I got from my dad, which had no film in it, but like clicked. So then we sit down at the table, we order a margarita, immediately I'm completely wasted. Now I have a little thing to record him, like a little sad Samsung thing that I put on the table, asking him all about his life, he's talking. Of course, I have forgotten to turn on the recorder. So at one point he says, he's like, you're younger than a reporter. And then I cop to being in college. I say, well, I go to American University. Just lies are flowing. He takes this news not great. He takes it kind of like, wish you'd told me that sooner. So at that point I decide I'll drive him home. He gets in my Cutlass Sierra, which in the tape recorder is Rent, like such a dork. So I turn on the car and it's like 500. I'm like, just nothing. I get home at like 2:30 in the morning. Margaritas, I mean, I know everyone's drinking in high school. For me, they hit me really hard. The next day, the SATs was a complete disaster. Let's just say my math score reflected basically a signature.